Welcome to Open for Business, the Gallatin Valley's only local business and consumer talk show featuring Tom Egelhoff, the Man Entrepreneur magazine radio called the leading authority in the United States for doing business in small town. Here he is, speaker, author, small business consultant, and Mrs. Egelhoff's favorite son, Tom Egelhoff.
All right, welcome everyone. Open for Business. We air every Saturday live from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. Mountain Time on AM 1450 KMMS in Bozeman, 1340 KPRK in Livingston, Montana. If you'd like to be a part of the big broadcast, go to kmmsam.com and click Listen Live. The call-in number during the show, 406-522-TALK, 406-522-8255. I'm here, you're here. Let's get the show on the road. All right, welcome back, everyone. It is 55 degrees outside, Saturday, February 27, 2016, and 25 minutes before the top of the hour. I want to welcome you to the podcast portion of Open for Business. Each week I share some tips and tricks I've learned over the years about advertising, marketing, promotion, and building strong, successful businesses. I do these Open for Business podcasts every Saturday between 11:30 and noon, Mountain Time, from the studios of AM 1450 KMMS in Bozeman and 1340 KPRK in Livingston, Montana, and of course streaming worldwide on the net at kmmsam.com. So if you missed any of my previous podcasts, you'll find them all on my new YouTube channel, I should say, or my website at smalltownmarketing.com. That's smalltownmarketing.com. Just go about halfway down the page on the left side, and you'll find a link to the podcast page so you can catch up on any of the podcasts that you might have missed. Today's topic is what to do if your competition is lying about you. This podcast comes from a question asked by a business owner in Taylorville, Illinois. He writes, "Hi, Tom. Love your website. Small towns are a different animal when it comes to marketing. Our firm is also the new kid on the block, so it'll be an uphill battle at best, just the way we like it. I think the biggest problem we are having is our competition is somewhat worried about us and are putting out a lot of negative information. We're not traveling that road. We just try to do a good job. Got any hints to turn the negative to a positive?" Here are some of my suggestions to that letter writer. As you achieve success and begin to take market share away from your competitors, some may resort to drastic measures. So in many cases, these measures are not always honest and ethical. So let's talk about what to do first. First thing to do is not overreact to the negative information. In some cases, it might be a misunderstanding. Where'd the information come from? Is the source reliable? Have you heard the information from more than one credible source? Has this competitor exhibited similar behavior with other competitors? We probably see this activity more in political campaigns than any other place, but you can tell the truth, just not the whole truth. For example, my opponent has spent time in prison. True, in order to view prison conditions firsthand, the opposing candidate was locked up overnight. Will the voters ever believe the real story? So who knows? As Davy Crockett said, first be sure you're right, then go ahead. So if you're sincerely convinced that the competitor is truly out to get you, then it's time to take off the gloves and get serious. First, examine what the competitor is trying to accomplish. Yeah, I know the answer is to discredit you or drive you out of business. What you need to know is how. What areas of your business are being attacked? Are they after you or your business? Now, competing businesses seldom attack an individual because an individual can always quit or sell the business to someone else, and the competition will still be in place. So 99% of the time, the business itself is the target. So let's explore some ways to handle that problem. One way is to become a recognized authority in your industry and in your selling area. So how do you do that? By using smart marketing and letting people know that you have the information they need before they make a purchase decision. Customers are always looking for an authority to guide them in the decision-making process. We use stockbrokers, financial advisors, tax accountants. We seek out expert advice. And here are some ways to accomplish that. One way is you can contact your local newspaper and ask about writing articles or a column concerning your business or industry. These don't have to be specifically about your individual business, but cover your industry. You want to be perceived as an expert in the field. Now, I write monthly columns for a local newspaper on marketing, advertising, and promotion. And you can do the same with radio stations. Many small talk stations will put you on the air just for asking. I got this radio show by coming in and giving short tips on business many years ago. If there are national or local news stories concerning your industry, contact your local news outlets and let them know you would be available to give an expert opinion on that event. Some stations offer business spotlights or community bulletin boards. Join as many local groups as possible, Chamber of Commerce, Kiwanis, Lions, Elk, etc. These people are perceived as concerned, honest citizens of the community, and that's the perception you want. Become active in these groups, make friends, and let them know the true story. If you think you don't have time to get involved, don't worry, you'll have plenty of time after you're driven out of business. Find a way to make the time. You don't have to do it forever. Try to arrange a focus group of your best and most loyal customers. Show them what's happening and ask for their help and suggestions for spreading a positive message about your business. Ask satisfied customers for referrals. I'm glad you're happy with the work we did for you, Mrs. Smith. Tell me, who are some folks you know that might like similar work done for them? May I tell them you referred me? Referrals will keep you in business. Learn how to ask for them. Next, customer education separates you from your competitors. Educate your customers and our prospects to make yourself the expert. Let's assume for this exercise you have a furniture restoration business. Create a simple, inexpensive brochure or mailing piece that educates the customer about your business. Your brochure might be 17 things you need to know before you restore your valuable furnishings. Try to use this odd, attention-getting number. Avoid top 10. Note, the 17 things must be benefits that separate you from your competitors. To start with, you might only be able to think of a few, but if you think about it, you will realize there are many more. So let's assume that the best glue in the furniture restoration business is ABC glue and you use it. Your competitor uses XYZ glue that's cheaper and inferior. So one of the 17 points in your brochure might say, good furniture is only as good as the glue that holds it together. Antique industry experts agree ABC glue is the finest glue available, and that's why we use it exclusively. Now, did I badmouth my competitor there? I don't think so. Is it likely that the customer might ask the competitor, what brand of glue do you use? Certainly possible, isn't it? And the great thing is the customer probably won't mention you, but will leave because they are forewarned with good information and knew what questions to ask. So arm your potential customer with knowledge and make yourself the expert at the same time. Give good, honest advice, but in a way that separates you from the bad guys. Feature the brochure in all of your print and radio advertising. Call Hidden Treasures Restoration today to receive your free copy of 17 Things You Must Know Before You Restore Your Valuable Furnishings. If possible, include a well-dressed picture of your staff. Have a professional take the picture. A picture of your staff sitting on logs by a dirt road might be more effective at attention-getting than them standing next to one of your trucks looking like deer caught in headlights. And there's another money-saving bonus. Everyone who calls for the brochure saw or heard your ad, so it's an easy way to see if your advertising is working and reaching your target market. It also gives you a list of potential customers and leads for follow-ons. Did you receive the 17 Ways brochure? What type of restoration product do you have in mind? Next thing we need to talk about is the power of testimonials. So contact your very best customers and ask if you can meet with them one-on-one over lunch or coffee or whatever, and ask if they would be willing to write testimonial letters about your business. Better yet, ask if you can write the letters yourself and have them sign off on them. You'll be surprised how many will be more than happy to let you do that for them. Also, ask if you can use their comments in your advertising. The more well-known the person is in the community, the more powerful this can become. It's an even bigger plus if you can use their picture in the ad and on your brochure or mailer. If they don't want their name used, ask if you can use their initials. The comment itself is the important part. Now, testimonials do two things. One, testimonials give third-party credibility to your business, and reinforced from friends will override any negative gossip new customers may have heard from your competitors. And two, it's one thing for competitors to spread negatives about you. It's quite another for them to spread negatives about your customer, the same people they would like for their own customers. And that's what they'll be doing when they badmouth you and the customers in your ads. Mr. Competitor, are you calling Mr. Smith a blank because he said just the opposite in an ad I saw recently? Some final thoughts on negative advertising. Since it's impossible to address every type of business situation here, you'll need to adapt these ideas to your specific business. Most customers who buy a product or service don't know much when they start out. They learn about the product along the way as they search. They're exposed to all kinds of information and misinformation. So make sure you provide the information they need in an honest, truthful message. Most people have a way of cutting through the fog and getting to the real truth about a business. But the best way to do business is honestly and ethically. Keep promises and provide good service. Don't lower yourself to a mudslinging contest with your competitors. No one wins that contest. And that's the podcast. Each week I share some tips and tricks I've learned over the years about advertising, marketing, promotion, and building strong, successful businesses. I do these Open for Business podcasts live every Saturday between 11:30 and noon Mountain Time from the studios of AM 1450 KMMS in Bozeman, 1340 KPRK in Livingston, and, of course, streaming worldwide on the web at kmmsam.com. So if you missed any of my previous podcasts, you'll find them all on my YouTube channel or my website at smalltownmarketing.com. That's smalltownmarketing.com. Just go about halfway down the homepage on the left side. You'll find a link to the podcast page so you can catch up on any of the podcasts that you might have missed. So tune in each Saturday and let's build successful businesses together.